Well, last year, ABC foreign correspondents covered disasters, revolutions and the lives of people living in the far corners of the globe. Their assignments sometimes put them in danger and often take them to strange and exotic settings. And this summer, we're bringing to you a special insight into how our correspondents covered some of those stories. In May, correspondent Stephen McDonell took a journey through China's incredibly diverse spiritual renaissance. It was an assignment that drew him to the attention of the secret police.
Although this story was about Christianity, we wanted to kind of set up a bit of the history of China and what people used to believe here. And so we wanted to illustrate the earliest stages of religious belief here, and Taoism is the oldest still surviving religion in China. When we found out that there are these Taoist kung fu monks, well, of course we're going to go and film them. And we go along there and it's something just straight out of central casting. We climb up the mountain and these young monks are up there, you know, meditating, and they got the swords out in these big courtyard houses fighting with each other, you know, with their masters disciplining them. At one stage we were filming them and these guys are doing these elaborate sword moves, really impressive. And one of them made a slight mistake. He dropped his sword or something and the master's like, "You, out, replacement, in, bang." When you're a journalist in China, you just have to assume that at any time you're being monitored. So every phone call, every email you make, we just have to work on the assumption that somebody is reading it or someone's listening in. I mean, even as we're recording this right now, there could be bugs in the room, there could be people, you know, tapping the phone in the room and hearing what we're saying. So we just have to work on that assumption. It's kind of a fact of life. In this country, there are two types of Christian churches. There are the official churches and underground or unregistered churches. And we went to Wenzhou to try and make contact with some of these underground Christians. What we found out, though, when we got there, is that this is a rather sensitive subject to the authorities. Looks like they're in a taxi today. Everywhere we went, we were followed. And so we had to tell people, look, I know we've got an interview organised for this afternoon, but if we come to your house, we are bringing the law with us. The authorities will be coming along and they'll know that you've spoken to us. So we've got to tell people, is that okay with you? Are you happy with that? And sure enough, a lot of people were not happy with that and they just thought the pressure's too much. We decided at one point, okay, these secret police, they are going to become part of our story. And funnily enough, the day we decided to put a camera on the back of the car, I mean, they've been following us for 5 days, they're not there. Surprise, surprise. We couldn't believe it, all our plans then, and we're thinking, what are we going to do? We haven't got our talent, and we haven't got enough of them following us, so how can we tell this story? And I just rang the office back in Beijing and said, oh, g'day there, we're about to meet some underground Christians in 10 minutes, so it's going to be a very important interview, significant, and yep, see you later. Bang, hung up the phone. In they came. Sure enough, there were the agents we needed to film. After being pursued for 5 days, we decide to go up and ask these agents why they've been following us. On this day, they're waiting for us in the foyer of our hotel like they have been every day. Hey! Hey, 我们不知道你是谁。你是谁？你为什么这么派我？干嘛？你为什么要派我？你为什么？我跟你说，你是谁啊？你是谁啊？对不起。你可以给警察。你可以对我，为什么派我客人啊？ They clearly prefer the anonymity of spying on others to being filmed themselves. On one level, it's a bit of a drag and it does create stress when we're trying to do stories like this, but it does just come with the territory.
Actually, they're going over to our car now to ask questions there, so yeah, we don't quite know what to do.
I wasn't that scared, I've got to say. It all just happens so fast and it's chaotic. And if you ask a journalist about situations like this, they're going to tell you what really is going on in the back of their mind is just great pictures, great pictures, great pictures. The more they want to fight, the better it is. The more it makes them look ridiculous, the more it makes them look kind of thuggish. And all you've got to do is make sure you can get those pictures out. The counterproductive thing in all this, from my point of view, is that if we want to do a story about these underground Christian groups, there are certain things that they believe which probably deserve some scrutiny. There are some sort of worrying things about how they operate or what have you. But you can't explore any of those themes if you're just being followed around by the secret police all the time, and the story just becomes the police. And it does look bad for China. It looks like the state here is an oppressive state which will trample on people's rights when they want to speak to the media. And if they were just to let us talk to these people and just show the complexity in these stories, that's all we want to do. We're not on anyone's side in this. We don't think that anyone's right or anyone's wrong. We just want to do our job and interview all the people concerned.
King